All right, so this is going to be the recap for our contact staff SNES class. SNES stands for shoulder, neck, shoulder. And what that's going to be is that's going to look like either, so we're going to go shoulder, neck, shoulder, and then catch. That can be a horizontal or we can do a vertical SNES, which is going to look like that. So the way we broke that down, first we did a little bit of a recap. Going back all the way to our conveyor belt class, which was at the beginning of the year. And for that one, we talked about kind of our hand wraps and where we're going to be gripping the staff slightly off center. And we are able to release and pass to the opposite side. And the reason that works is because we're having the center point of our staff land on the back of our hand when we're not able to grip it, and then it comes more off center. We can do that. We can take that into continuous hand passes where we're going like this. And you can see each time I'm making sure that the center point is on the back of my hand so that the staff stays balanced and doesn't speed up or slow down too much. So that's a concept that we're using here at our shoulder, neck, shoulder, where we want to make sure that we're getting the center point of our staff onto the body part that it's going across. So we did a quick review of kind of those hand passes and just that general concept. Next, we moved on to just a recap of our neck wraps, which we went over in our Steve roll class. But with that, all we're going to do is we're going to grip the staff slightly off center. We're going to hold it horizontal. And so for a horizontal neck wrap, we want to bring the staff straight across, envisioning as if we're standing in chest deep water and you want to keep your staff dry. So you keep this really flat plane coming across. You're going to get to where your hand is up against your neck. And all you need to do is twist and release. The hand getting as close to that body part as possible is where we're going to gain a lot of our control. If we're trying to just toss it and our hand isn't there, you're going to miss your center point a lot more than you're going to make. So we really want to learn to bring our hand as close to our neck as possible, release, and then catch with the opposite hand on the far side. So that would be the horizontal neck wrap, which is going to be part of the horizontal SNES. For a vertical SNES, we're going to use the vertical version of that. So again, we start with our hand straight out, but in this time we swoop under. We're going to bring our neck slightly forward to create a platform. And the same thing applies. So we're going to bring this as vertical plane as possible. And all we need to do is twist to release and catch on the far side. So we went over horizontal and vertical neck wraps as kind of that middle component of the shoulder, neck, shoulder. Next, we went into actually breaking down the shoulder, neck, shoulder. We're going to start with an opposite arm entry. So if I'm gripping it in my right hand, I'm going to bring the staff. We're also going to start with a vertical shoulder, neck, shoulder. I think this was a little bit easier in the class, so it's probably a better place to start. But we're going to bring the staff down and across just like we did for our neck wrap, keeping the staff in this vertical plane. And we're going to have our other arm, our opposite arm, reaching straight forward, parallel to the ground, and kind of pushing that shoulder forward so that as I bring it up, I can just release and then catch with the same hand. So again, that's going to look like this. And again, the key here, we want our hand all the way up, basically into our armpit to make that release. And then it can just catch on the opposite side. When we want to then move into the neck wrap portion, we can do where that arm is down in front, it's going to come across, and you can see there's this point here where if it continues to rotate, my arm's going to be in the way. So as this comes across the top of our arm, we're going to bring that down and bring our neck forward so that then we can do a neck wrap. So full speed, that'll look like this. And again, you can break that down initially just by releasing, catching here, leaning forward, do the neck wrap, catch with the opposite hand. Then once the staff is on the far side of our neck, after our neck wrap, we're going to bring this hand back into that forward position so that it can then go around the last shoulder. And we're going to catch with the opposite hand from what we started with. Some keys when this is going at full speed. So when we piece that all together, we're going to bring it down, neck, and catch. A couple keys there. You saw I'm going to have my neck start maybe a little bit to the opposite side to give it some space. And then as it rolls over my neck, I'm going to move it towards the staff to help it keep momentum. Another thing you can concentrate on is we can also add some momentum to the staff as it comes around that last shoulder. So we have our neck wrap, it comes here, and if I swoop my arm into that position, I am creating space for the staff to fall around and actually giving it some extra momentum that I can then catch it on. So from side angle, what that's going to look like again is arm out in front. I'm going to do that, wrap, and then swoop my arm up in order to help with the momentum. So that was the vertical SNES. And one thing, that's an opposite arm entry. We can also do, we'll do the opposite arm entry for a horizontal shoulder, neck, shoulder. So a lot of the same concepts are going to apply. I'm going to start from here, horizontal. But this time, because the staff is moving horizontally, my shoulder needs to be perpendicular to the movement of the staff. So I'm going to have the staff, or I'm going to have my opposite arm straight up in the air, and I'm going to lean my head off to the opposite side. And actually, you're going to kind of twist your whole body, because what you want is that as the staff goes around, you want to have space to where it's not going to run into your neck. If you just stand here like this, then the staff is going to go around both the shoulder and the neck at the same time, which is not what we're looking for. So instead, we're going to lean across and do that same, come across very horizontal, release, and then we can just catch here initially. From there, we're going to go straight into our neck wrap. So that'll go around that side. And then again, from here, we want to create that swooping motion with our arm and lean off to the opposite side so that our head creates clearance for the staff to go around. So that's going to look like this. At full speed, what that's going to look like is shoulder, neck, shoulder, and we can bring it around and catch it in front. So that was vertical shoulder, neck, shoulders and horizontal shoulder, neck, shoulders, both with a opposite arm entry, meaning we brought the staff from, if we're gripping in our right side, we're launching onto our left side. We can also do a same arm entry. So for vertical SNES, what that's going to look like is we'll go here, and then we can also catch with the same arm, with the arm on the same side as the exit. So the difference is here, for the vertical, what I'm going to do is if it's in my right hand, I want to be looking over to my left. And as I bring the staff in, I again want to get that thumb side as close to my armpit as possible, but my elbow is pointed straight ahead of me and is horizontal, or is parallel to the ground. And so we're going to create that release to go over that shoulder. From there, once you have that release, you bring your neck in front, you bring your opposite shoulder in front, just like we did before, but then we're just going to have that same arm position for the catch on the back end. So again, what that looks like is I'm looking off the opposite direction, I go around, over, and then there. I didn't get the catch right, but you get the idea. The same thing, and let's do that from a side angle. So from the side, I'll be looking, let's do it this way. So I'm looking in the opposite direction of where my hand is placed. I'm going to come up and do that same catch. So that's the same side entry for a vertical SNES, same side entry for a horizontal SNES. Same grip location. You can see I'm gripped quite a bit further off because my arm doesn't get as close to my armpit as I would like. But for the horizontal SNES, or the horizontal same side entry, I want to create that same platform, but my elbow is going to be pointing up towards the sky, and I'm going to need that same lean for my head to clear. So what that's going to look like is I'm going to come here, there, and then around. Find this one a lot more difficult than the vertical, but you get the idea. And then the last thing we went over is some drills that we can do where we can do those neck wraps, and we can work on adding speed without having to use our hands. So we saw this a lot where kind of how in the vertical, will shift my neck to the left to give it more momentum. We can do that from a complete standstill. So what I might do is I might start with the staff so that the center point is off the back of my shoulder and my chin is preventing it from rolling off. And then to do a vertical neck wrap, all I'm gonna have to do is I wanna shrug my shoulder up and push down with my chin at the same time. And then we stand back up. Initially, I want you to use that, I want you to use your offhand in order to prevent that from just slamming into your neck. But as you get more comfortable with it, you can just lean back and absorb that speed and set up for the next one. We can do the same thing with the horizontal version where instead of pushing up with our shoulder, we're going to bring our shoulder back to give it momentum and let it go around the neck. So we're gonna bring it back, bring our neck forward, and then catch. And you can see I move my head backwards at the catch in order to absorb that momentum and not have the staff just slam into me. This can be really good if you get into the middle of the move and you don't have enough momentum. You can use that shoulder to really give it the extra flick that you need in order to help save the move. And again, if you really practice this and get comfortable with it, then you can do it kind of continuous. You might be able to do like a vertical and then a horizontal, and just do those continuously back and forth. And if you're doing them right, that center point stays aligned with your neck the whole time, and you can just kind of do them continuously. So that was shoulder, neck, shoulders. Once again, we did vertical with both same side or opposite arm entry and same side entry. We did horizontal with opposite side entry and same side entry, and then we did those neck drills. And that was our SNES class.